Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me again. I want to start off by reminding you that today, Duncan Trussell's new animated series, The Midnight Gospel, is going to be on Netflix. And I am in one of the episodes, episode 3. Uh, so check that out whenever you have time and let me know what you think about it. When I met Duncan Trussell for the first time, it was when I was doing the tour, the book signing tour for High Magic. And he has a podcast called the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. And I was booked to be on the podcast to talk about magic and talk about the book and tell everyone where the signing was going to be, that sort of thing. I was just going there, just thinking it was almost like, just a promotional type thing. Whenever he opened the door, he was wearing like a fireman's hat that said "On Fire for Jesus" on it. My first thought was that I had come to the wrong address, that something had gotten mixed up in some way. Whenever we did start talking, I realized, Duncan Trussell, he sort of gives his job description as comedian, but I think that doesn't come close to articulating what he actually is. Yes, he is funny, he's hilarious, but he's also one of the wisest and kindest people that I've ever met. Whenever I walked away from that first conversation with him, for the next few days, it was kind of like having this buzz of energy that just made you feel better about everything in the world. And that always, the memory of that kind of sticks with you, even with me now over a year later. So whenever he asked if I would want to be involved in the animated series, I immediately said yes, just the chance to work with him again. And it ended up being even more fun and amazing hanging out with him the second time than it was the first time. But that's on Netflix right now. I haven't seen all of the episodes yet. I'm still watching them. I am absolutely loving everything about it so far. It is beautiful and amazing, and I hope you guys like it too. One of the things that I want to do in the future in these videos is kind of explain more about what ceremonial or high magic is, and the reasons that we do it. And I'll start probably with a ritual that is like the foundation that all of high magic is built on, called the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. And this is one of those things that pretty much everyone in the realm of magic has heard about and at least tried to practice at some point. A lot of people, whenever they hear it, immediately get bored because it's so prevalent. But it really is, it is the foundation, just because the things you learn whenever you're doing this, you can sort of tweak and use in so many other ways in your life. What you're doing on the energetic level whenever you do this ritual, well, first let me say that, you know how they say in science that energy can't be destroyed, it just gets transformed into some other form, and that we are energy? In magic, what we're trying to do is, whenever we go through the process of dying physically, on the energetic level of reality, our energy kind of dissipates and goes back into all things. So we become part of everything. What we're trying to do, and this is the core of teachings and practices like Bodhisattvas and things like that, beings that are working for the enlightenment or liberation of all sentient beings. technically we're all Bodhisattvas, because what happens whenever we die is all of that energy we've accumulated while we've lived, all of that knowledge, it dissipates and goes back out into all things and becomes part of all things. Well, if you build up enough of that energy within and around yourself, whenever you go through that dissipation process, you also become part of everyone's memory. Does that make sense? What I mean by become part of everyone's memory, this could be anything from figures like Alexander the Great, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Moses, all down the line to people like George Washington and Beethoven. And a lot of these people were doing these practices to accumulate this light, this energy around them. Beethoven, I can't remember the exact quote, but he said the greatest ambition that a man should have is to approach divinity as closely as possible, gather its rays, and then disseminate them out to all mankind. And that's what he was trying to do through his music. Because while we're accumulating this, we call it a divine light, or an astral light, or in Chinese systems like Taoism they call it qi. We're trying to accumulate this energy around ourselves. My brain I just lost it. What were we talking about? Oh, accumulating the energy around ourselves as much as we possibly can, so that there's more of it whenever it goes out. When you do that, just by working on yourself in this life, you know, when we think of helping others, we always think of doing something outward. We do actually help others when we help ourselves, because when we improve ourselves internally, we're improving eventually all consciousness. So the way to accumulate this energy, you begin learning, like when you learn the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, you're doing specific things, but you're also learning a formula that can be used for other things. And what I mean by when I say you're doing a specific thing, you are, number one, this ritual is almost like doing calisthenics for your aura. It really, really pumps up your energy system because you're using it like a muscle. Gradually increasing its strength. You know how most people, whenever they think of what we would call the aura, they think of like an egg shape around the body? For most people, that's not actually what it looks like. Most people's energy system looks more like heat rising off the highway on like a really hot summer day, and you're driving in the distance and you see those wavy lines coming off the road. That's what most people's energy looks like, because we're just sort of spilling it out. When you start doing this practice, what you do is gradually learn to control your energy system so that you do have that contained dome shape, so that your energy isn't constantly dissipating and you aren't constantly being unconsciously affected by other outside energies of people, places, things that are coming in on you. You're giving yourself a kind of energetic shield. That translates in everyday life into things like you start to feel more confident. It makes you a little bit more physically healthy. It has all sorts of beneficial effects, like you don't get angry as much. If you do get angry, it passes very quickly. All sorts of positive psychological effects. So this is the first ritual that we'll talk about, and in the next video I will explain exactly how to do this. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching and being with me again. I hope you are well and safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.